May 27, 2026. Japan's House of Councillors passed a major piece of legislation. The bill concerns the creation of a new institution known as the National Intelligence Agency and the establishment of the National Intelligence Council. This news has not attracted significant international attention. Yet, in reality, it may represent one of the most important turning points in Japan's post-war security architecture. For decades, Japan has been known for world-class technological capabilities: semiconductor materials, precision machinery, defense technologies, robotics, advanced materials. But at the same time, a major gap existed in the very system responsible for protecting those technologies. Why does Japan need a national intelligence agency now? And why did Japan go so long without creating one? To understand that, we must first understand the unique structure of post-war Japan. Why was Japan called a spy paradise? For many years, Japan has occasionally been described overseas as a spy paradise. One of the primary reasons is that, unlike many advanced nations, Japan has never had a comprehensive anti-espionage law. Of course, Japan does possess various legal frameworks that protect sensitive information. These include the Self-Defense Forces Act, the National Public Service Act, and the Unfair Competition Prevention Act. In 2013, Japan also enacted the State Secrets Protection Law. However, these measures differ significantly from the broader legal systems found in countries such as the United States and the United Kingdom, where espionage activities and national security-related information leaks are addressed through comprehensive legislation. So, why did Japan avoid building such a system for so long? The answer lies in Japan's unique post-war history. After World War II, Japanese society developed a deep suspicion toward government surveillance and state control. Memories of the pre-war special hire police, fear of unchecked military power, a strong emphasis on constitutional protections and civil liberties. These historical experiences created lasting resistance among parts of the public toward any expansion of state surveillance powers. In addition, during much of the post-Cold War era, many Japanese believed that Japan itself was unlikely to become a major target of geopolitical confrontation. But the world has changed. Today, competition between nations is no longer defined solely by military strength. Semiconductors, artificial intelligence, quantum technology, advanced materials, space technology. These technologies have become strategic national assets. And in reality, Japanese companies and research institutions have experienced numerous cases of technology leakage over the years. Advanced materials, precision manufacturing technologies, semiconductor-related expertise. Some of these technologies ultimately found their way overseas. As a result, Japan found itself in a highly unusual position, a nation possessing some of the world's most advanced technologies, but relatively weak counterintelligence capabilities to protect them. The intelligence gap between Japan and other major powers. To understand this issue, let us compare Japan with other major nations. The United States has the CIA. It conducts foreign intelligence collection, analysis, covert operations, human intelligence gathering, and national security assessments. The United Kingdom has MI6. Israel has Mossad. These organizations are not simply spy agencies. They serve as central intelligence institutions that support national decision-making. So, what did Japan have? In reality, Japan already possessed numerous intelligence-related organizations: the National Police Agency, the Public Security Intelligence Agency, the Defense Intelligence Headquarters, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Cabinet Intelligence and Research Office. The problem was not the absence of intelligence organizations. The problem was fragmentation. Information was scattered across different ministries and agencies. This is what Japan often refers to as vertical bureaucracy. Information remained compartmentalized and was not always effectively integrated or shared. For years, this has been viewed as a structural weakness in Japan's national security system. Cyber attacks, technology theft, foreign influence operations, economic security threats. These are issues that ideally require cross-government analysis. But when organizations operate separately, information tends to become fragmented, making it difficult to build a complete strategic picture. This fragmentation also affects intelligence sharing relationships with allies. In the intelligence world, countries must demonstrate that they can protect sensitive information before others are willing to share it. Counterintelligence capability is itself a measure of trust. For decades, Japan has relied heavily on intelligence provided by allies, particularly the United States. But in recent years, the threat environment has changed dramatically. China, Russia, North Korea, cyber warfare, economic security competition. As these challenges intensified, calls for a stronger domestic intelligence coordination capability also grew inside Japan. What is the National Intelligence Agency? And it is within this context that Japan is now moving toward the creation of a National Intelligence Agency. However, one point is extremely important. This does not mean that Japan is suddenly creating a Japanese version of the CIA overnight. The primary focus of the legislation is intelligence integration, cross-ministerial analysis, and stronger information sharing mechanisms at the national security level. In other words, the new organization is intended to function more as a central coordinating body than a traditional intelligence service. According to government explanations, priorities include strengthening intelligence collection and analysis related to national security, economic security, cyber threats, and technology protection. In recent years, economic security has become increasingly important. Today, advanced technologies are no longer simply commercial assets. They are strategic assets that influence national competitiveness. As a result, the National Intelligence Agency is expected to evolve beyond purely military intelligence and move toward a broader security mission, encompassing technology, economics, cyberspace, and industrial competition. Many experts are also paying close attention to another possibility. The agency could eventually become the institutional foundation for future anti-espionage legislation. In other words, this bill is not an isolated reform. It may be the opening chapter of a much larger transformation of Japan's security system. How could Japan change? If Japan significantly strengthens its intelligence capabilities, what might change? Not only improving technical protection and information sharing capabilities, but also it could have a major impact on security cooperation with allies. Today, advanced defense projects require the sharing of highly sensitive information. Being a country that can protect classified information is increasingly becoming a prerequisite for military technology cooperation. Strengthening counterintelligence capabilities could therefore reinforce the U.S.-Japan alliance and broader multilateral security partnerships. At the same time, concerns also exist. Expanding intelligence capabilities inevitably raises questions about privacy, surveillance, and potential abuse of power. That is why democratic oversight, transparency, and legal accountability will remain critically important. Japan is now entering a difficult new phase, a phase in which it must balance the values of a free society with the demands of a more challenging security environment. Conclusion. For much of the post-war era, Japan developed primarily as an economic power. But today, the world is entering a new period of strategic competition, and that competition extends far beyond military strength. Information, technology, cybersecurity, economic security. These invisible domains are becoming the new center of national competition. The creation of a national intelligence agency is therefore not merely the establishment of another government institution. It may represent a historic attempt by Japan to fill a long-standing intelligence gap. And in the years ahead, the capability Japan may need most is not simply military power. It is the ability to understand what is happening before others do. In other words, intelligence itself.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to Deep Focus Japan for more videos on Japanese society and current issues.